I left my house with my daughter when my husband kicked her out after she revealed her secret relationship. My husband and I are both in our 50s. Our daughter is 17. Last night at dinner, she revealed that she has been in a relationship with a much older man who has a personal relationship with my husband. I don't want to get into the specifics, but he is exactly as far apart in age to my daughter as he is to me. My husband was livid. He immediately told her that her lies and secrecy were a betrayal to the family, and that if she continued this relationship, it wouldn't be under his roof. I think she was expecting something like this to happen, because she immediately got up and said that she'd leave. My husband said good, and that he didn't want a liar he couldn't trust living in his house. My husband has spent his entire life as a soldier. He is very big about respect and trustworthiness. My daughter ran upstairs, and I told my husband that there was no way I was letting my daughter leave to go live with that man. I'm fully aware of what was done to her. I tried to explain this to my husband, but he didn't want to hear it at the moment. And if she had to leave, I would leave with her. I suggested other things, taking away her cell phone and giving her one that can only make emergency calls, taking away her car, anything to keep her from him. I do agree there should be consequences to her lying. However, I don't think taking away her most basic right, shelter, is the way to deal with this. My husband disagreed with me and told me I was being too lenient, that we were setting a bad example for our other daughter. Because of this, I left with my 2 daughters and am now living at my mother's house. I'm looking for a younger person's perspective because almost all my friends disagree with my decision and agree with my husband. To be clear, I told my daughter under no means can she communicate with this man, and that even though their relationship is not technically illegal, it was still absolutely unacceptable. I am not allowing this relationship. I am just not allowing my daughter to not have a place to live because of it. The daughter in this story is having a relationship with a personal friend of her dad. That is crazy. The age difference alone makes this unbelievably unacceptable. There is a fully grown adult having some kind of a relationship with a 17-year-old girl. If you're not aware of what that's called grooming. This is a horrible thing that happens to young teenagers, where an older person takes them under their wing, whether as a relationship or a supposed friendship, just to groom them until they're 18, and then they can do whatever they want with them. This is disgusting by all stretches of the imagination. The daughter in this situation, I don't think fully realizes what's going on and the danger that she could potentially be in. This is a very serious problem, especially online, where people can get in a relationship with someone and not know the full details. I would be daring enough to say that no 50-year-old has any business trying to date or be in a relationship with a 17-year-old. You can date people younger than you. I would understand if a 50-year-old reached out to someone in their 30s, even late 20s if you want to stretch it, but any younger than that, and that is just predatory behavior. On the other hand, the way that this man is reacting to his daughter seems a little extreme in my opinion. He should absolutely prevent this relationship from continuing, but kicking his daughter out without providing any means of support or help in escaping this situation is the wrong call. The mother who told this story goes on to say that their daughter lied a lot just to keep this relationship a secret. She said there were many times she snuck out of the house in the middle of the night. She would lie about what she was doing, where she was going, anything to keep this relationship away from her parents. And the fact that this girl felt like she needed to keep this a secret is even further proof that she needs to be away from this man. There's a reason this man is not dating people of his own age. It's not by coincidence that he just happens to run into this 17-year-old girl that he loves and is suddenly in a relationship with. Honestly, that is creepy and disgusting. As a man in his 50s, he has no business approaching teenagers when it comes to relationships. Disgusting, unacceptable. When it comes to the mother in this story, I understand where she's coming from. I would never want my daughter to be left homeless because of a bad decision that she made. And that's what this is. It's a terrible decision. The father in this story definitely went way too far, and he needs to roll it back. In my honest opinion, this is a messy situation. But when kids make mistakes, it's your responsibility as the parent to step in and support them. You gotta help them correct it, even if it's a really bad decision like dating someone in their 50s. This is a messy situation, but with some support from her parents, she could make it right. My girlfriend ribbits like a frog. I've been dating my girlfriend for about a year and a half. Everything has been amazing and I'm so in love with her. But when she got more comfortable around me, she began burping and farting. This is all fine and normal, but her burps are strange. She only recently started burping her real burp, which is almost a croak or a ribbit like a frog, on top of a normal burp. Like she literally screams while she burps. Every time I bring it up, she gets weirdly defensive, saying things like, "Why do you care?" Or "Just let me do me." I can hardly stand it, and it weirds me out. She does it in public, and even when she's around my parents, and it's embarrassing. I don't like going out with her out of fear that she might let out a horrendous croak in public around us. What do I do? I love her, but I feel embarrassed. Okay, this is the funniest thing I've heard all day. If my girlfriend burped like a frog and it made a croaking noise, I would want to hear that 24/7. That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. I can understand where the guy is coming from personally. Doing this in public and doing this around other people can be a little embarrassing. The first thing that comes to mind for me is that there's a possibility there's some kind of medical condition surrounding this. It's not uncommon for people to have weird hiccups or burps that they can't really control. Whether it's acid reflux or something else, maybe there's something going on that's a little embarrassing that she doesn't want other people to know about. Like sometimes people's hiccups make them burp and it kind of sounds like a croaking noise. It might be out of her control. Maybe the guy in this situation just needs to pull his girlfriend aside and just ask her if there's something else going on that he needs to be aware of. It sounds like they have a fantastic relationship. And it's unfortunate that his girlfriend is so defensive about this burping thing, because at least he might be able to lighten the mood just by joking about it every now and then. All in all, this is a really silly situation to be in, and I don't think you should be taking it as seriously as he really is. I mean, honestly, only weird burps? That's a pretty lucky girlfriend to have. There are some girlfriends who are absolutely insane, will stab your tires with a 9-inch knife, blackmail you with questionable photos, and end up cheating on you anyways. I'll take weird burps over that any day of the week. I never see my wife anymore because of her job. My wife's job is pretty insane. She's salary and makes a decent living, works in a 24/7 environment on second shift. Over the past 2 years with everything going on, it seems that her company just thinks that they can just own my wife, consume more of her work and life balance. I'm talking working 13 to 14-hour shifts, getting paid salary. She's up in the morning before her shift even starts, listening in on meetings. She says she can never get any work done because she's always in a meeting and she's always playing catch up and there's always something else to do. They keep losing employees to other departments or promotions from within. She can never have a full roster of direct reports. So everybody is always picking up whatever they can. So that's already creating a stressful work environment. It's obvious what they need to do is to fix it, but yeah, corporate. I get it. I don't want to sound selfish, but it really sucks when I look forward to having time off on the weekend and spending it with my significant other, but she doesn't even get to enjoy time off because something at work always comes up. I seriously miss my wife. She knows how much it frustrates me. She acts like she can do something about it, but I know she can't. Corporate bureaucracies are slower than a snail. I've already communicated to her that I cannot attend any more of her work gatherings or parties because I will end up saying something to her boss. That's a fact, and I don't want to do that because I know it's unprofessional. But at what point is enough enough? It's like we're trying to start a family, but how can you do that when she's not even around? How could we possibly raise kids? The other part that hurts the most emotionally is that I look forward to being with my wife on our days off. But she's always too tired, and her job is just consuming her mind all the time. I'm not the person to give ultimatums, but at some point, what can I do to show her that this job is not only tearing her apart, but also me? She doesn't deserve what they are handing to her at work. I just know if the roles were reversed, she would be really unhappy with me. What should I do? This is a tricky situation because this guy has a wife who is clearly super successful. You don't get to a salary position with this level of expectation and responsibility without doing a few things right. And from the sounds of it, his wife is obviously a star player. She's exactly what they're looking for. And so because of that, she gets a lot more responsibility. But in effect, it now has taken so much time away from her husband that they don't have time to do anything. No time off, no quiet moments together on the weekend, nothing. And from the sounds of it, they want to try and have kids, but how on earth could they have kids if this is the schedule that his wife has? I think in all honesty, they really need to reassess where their priorities are. If you want to have kids, you better make sure you have time for them. With the schedule that's being described, I just don't think it's wise to have kids right now. You got to make sure you have everything planned out. because one of the parents is going to be absolutely overwhelmed and get even more frustrated once kids are introduced into an already extremely busy schedule. I don't blame the husband for feeling hurt that his wife is never around. It's obvious that he's super proud of her. The way he describes her is obviously coming from someone who's proud of his wife. But I agree with him. When is enough enough? How much farther up the ladder does someone have to go before they realize that they left everybody behind? And I fear for their marriage. If I was the husband in this situation, I would tell my wife exactly how I feel. I would say I feel left out. I feel completely put in the dark. I miss being around you. I miss having any time with you. I miss you being energetic and full of life. Because right now, it sounds like this job is sucking the soul right out of her. And eventually, it will consume this marriage. My friends made it very clear that we're just friends, but she gets upset anytime I mention another woman. I am very close friends with a girl. I seriously do not know what to do though. A long time ago, I developed feelings for her, but she rejected me and has always been pretty clear that we were just friends. We go out a lot together. We go on day trips, meet up like every week, and have a lot of meaningful conversations together. When we're together, she actively goes out of her way to keep things just friendly though, so I do the same. I'm basically a good friend for her, like she wants me to be. She never states she wants something more though. She sometimes acts flirty around me, but then backs down when I return the flirting. She also actively talks about other guys, and tells me she thinks she'll be single forever, and that she still needs to find the right person for her future. This makes me hurt and annoyed because she knows how I feel about her, and I just think it's a bit rude to say that to me. I'm not pursuing her. She always comes to me, and I'm a good friend to her like she wants me to be. But why the need to bring up things like that? Yesterday we were out, and I mentioned another friend was going to check out an apartment with me. This friend of mine is a girl. After saying this, I noticed she became upset and pretty uncomfortable for the rest of the night. But what am I supposed to do? She actively keeps shutting me down for no reason. She clearly wants to be my friend, and she mentions a lot that I'm very important to her. But the moment I mention another girl, she gets all upset. It's like she expects me to give her all the attention, but doesn't want to return anything and just keeps calling me a friend. How am I supposed to even comprehend this? The woman in this situation is clearly just using this guy to get attention. Like the moment she gets a boyfriend or she doesn't need him for validation anymore, she will either ghost him or put him on the back burner. If I were him, I would absolutely stop hanging out with her. She clearly does not appreciate him. I understand if someone is not interested in you, but to put on this front as if you are by being blatantly flirty and then getting upset when they return the flirting is crazy. It's very backwards, and it looks like a ploy just to get attention instead of trying to harbor some kind of genuine friendship. And the guy has every right to talk about other girls. I mean, they are just friends, right? Or does the girl in this situation feel like they are more than friends, but is putting up walls to prevent that from happening? It feels like this woman is trying to play both sides of the fence. It's like she wants him coming back for more, but she doesn't want to have a serious relationship with him. She wants to be able to bounce ideas and boys off of him, but she doesn't want to hear about girls that he's interested in. The guy should absolutely get away from her. Keep her as an acquaintance, if anything, because this is an emotional vampire that's going to ruin his life if he doesn't get rid of her quick. My girlfriend goes out partying and forgets it's my birthday. My girlfriend and I have this tradition where we stay up on each other's birthday nights and wait for the clock to hit 12. When it hits midnight, we get on a call and wish the other person happy birthday. We've been together 4.5 years and have been doing this since our first birthdays together. My girlfriend and I are both in college and don't get to see or even speak on the phone with each other often. So I was hoping that we would get to have a decent amount of time to speak when the clock hit 12. For some context, my birthday lands on a Tuesday, and we would be doing our little thing on Monday night. Earlier Monday, she tells me that the frats at her school are doing a party event week, and today, Monday, she would be going with her friends to party, but would still be able to call or text when the clock hit 12. I was a little weary, but cool with it. Flash forward to Monday night. I get back from work at 11, and I'm excited for my birthday. Eventually, it hits 12 o'clock, and I get flooded with birthday texts from all of my loved ones, except her. But I would like to think I'm a reasonable guy, and didn't care too much. She's at a college party after all. After 30 minutes though, I got a little confused and upset. But I get it. After almost 2 hours, she posted on her Snapchat story, her and her friends surrounded by frat dudes. For some reason, that just really upset me. I know it shouldn't have, but I just feel hurt. Without thinking, I swiped up on her story and said, by the way, it's my birthday. I know it was childish and petty to do that, but it just hurt that she would forget. This is totally reasonable for the guy to be feeling this way about his girlfriend. I mean, if this is a tradition that they've been doing for, what, 4 years now? The girlfriend should have known better and been there for her boyfriend, especially in a long-distance relationship. When you're in a long-distance relationship, you need to be communicating. These seemingly small moments are actually huge in a long-distance relationship. These are the things that keep you together. So I can totally understand where the guy is coming from, where he feels upset after seeing his girlfriend at a party with a bunch of frat dudes. I would like to assume that nothing happened with the girl. I don't think the story really suggests that anything nefarious happened. But I don't blame the guy for feeling a little jealous that his girlfriend basically forgot his birthday, especially with this being a tradition of theirs. The guy just needs to speak up and say something to his girlfriend and say, hey, this really upset me. Tell her exactly how you feel. I don't think the way he responded on the Snapchat is the best idea. I think it's only going to cause more problems, but having the conversation of like, hey, this was supposed to be a special thing for us, and you completely forgot about it, is going to be a good thing in the long run. My wife got sucked into a pyramid scheme. My wife became a stay-at-home mom when our son was born. Now that he just started going to school, she's had a lot of free time during the day. At first, she kept the house amazingly clean and started taking classes online. Then she stopped going to school. Then she decided she was going to strike gold via a multi-level marketing business. She bought into a makeup thing and tries to get her friends to all join. Now she's getting into tarot cards and psychics. Even more recently, she paid a lot of money to take class on how to be a medium. You know, people who talk to dead people. I told her that I don't believe mediums are real. She said she knows there are fakes, but she's 100% certain it's real. I told her that the multi-level marketing business she's a part of is probably a pyramid scheme and will likely never earn enough to break even. She said I never have faith in her and I never support her. She started off so normal. If she met herself 10 years ago, the younger version would definitely make fun of the current one. The more I tried to convince her that these things are all scams, the more she pulls away. It's gotten to the point where she's already mentioned that we might need to split up because I don't believe the same things as her. Can we salvage the marriage? Should I take my son and run? This is such a messy situation because most of the time, these multi-level marketing businesses are an absolute scam. These businesses are basically pyramid schemes where there's more benefit of getting people to join in on this business than there is of actually selling the product. The person who buys into this business has no incentive to actually sell the product. They get nothing for it, plus the product is most likely incredibly cheap. Nobody wants it. So the husband in this situation is 100% correct. The chances of you breaking even are slim to none. And in most cases, people take on an incredible debt just trying to get this product off their shelves. I feel bad for this marriage because it sounds like this lady has gone completely astray. Listen, you can believe in whatever you want to believe, but when money gets involved, that you got to take classes on how to be a medium, that seems very silly. And she's obviously buying into something that is not going to reap any benefits towards her or her family. I can understand the stay-at-home mom trying to find some kind of side hustle to take up her time during the day, but I don't think joining a pyramid scheme, talking to dead people, and becoming a psychic is your solution. There's a lot of other things you can do that don't include ruining your marriage, which is exactly what she's doing. It seems like the husband in this situation is the only one with any rational thought, and I personally feel terrible for the son. These two definitely need to go to therapy, but in all actuality, the wife in this situation really just needs a wake-up call. It's so hard being a single parent, especially with a kid, and it's only going to become even more difficult if they divorce and split up, because they may be leaving each other, but their son is losing a parent. And I don't think any pyramid scheme or tarot card reading is worth losing your son. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video.